And so she's the relationship with her mother. And so she maybe she's stuffing that down and she may be sharing that with her friends, but all of that changes that child
Absolutely.
and how they show up in community and how they sit in class and think about their mom. And she had that meeting today. She was talking about that. I hope everything worked out. I'm going to text her after this class. And instead of focusing on their academics or their friendships or whatever, they're thinking about how their parent is coping with the racism that they're experiencing in the workplace, on top of their own racism that they may be experiencing as a Black child in a school or a multiracial child or whatever at a school. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's such a domino effect, and people just don't realize that, yeah, you might be just lashing out at one Black educator, but you're impacting the whole community, and maybe you're getting joy out of that in your whole.
More than likely.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
as Black educators, we have to realize that and think of ways to help mitigate that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, and also I love your method for your dissertation research and and what you just explained about how you interviewed the educator, then they were able to invite someone else in to be, and so you did those together too. I mean, that's really, yeah, a nice model. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. The IRB process, as we all know, was painful to be able to interview children, but I felt it necessary.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, when you said that earlier too, I thought, oh my gosh, that IRB must have been a nightmare. And for our guests that don't know what IRB is, for educators who are doing research and working with humans, you have to describe the process and how you are interacting with the humans, because there's historically been some research done that did not treat humans well. And we won't go down that rabbit hole because I'll get up on a whole my soapbox about that. But working with protected groups, and children are a protected group. So anyone under 18, there's extra precaution that has to go into that because they're young and impressionable. And
Yeah.
but kudos to you for doing that.
Well, it was, my research was me search, right? I had to know that I wasn't, like, it wasn't just me. And I love the experience and I love that my committee just said, like, do it, just go, right? Because I know so many folks whose research committees very much stifle their creativity. And my committee chair, shout out to Dr. Antoine Jefferson, he said, like, let's just make sure this is really tight and that we come in there, we're ready to rock and roll. But he definitely supported me all the way with doing this work. And I'm grateful for that because, again, it didn't just get printed out and put in a drawer. It's supporting community so these 3 or 4 years later, and it will continue to support community as long as I'm alive.
And thank you for mentioning that, because there's so many Black scholars, doctoral students who are just being challenged. And we were talking a little bit about this before we turned on the microphones and started recording, about talk about racial battle fatigue and trying to get through their dissertation. And so just again, thank you for doing that, because it's hard to do a dissertation to begin with, but then when you're facing resistance from your committee, your advisor, others in the department that you're at, the university that you're working, it's tough.
Yeah, especially when folks, people who were on they were my same cohort, but had different advisors. They were getting pushed back about capitalizing the being Black for Black people, or like, oh, that's too much. Are you doing? And yeah, I think that I was in a place where, and advisors, they don't take everyone. And so for my advisor to say, okay, I believe in what you're trying to do, I'm going to take you on as a student, as a doctoral student. I was super grateful. And Dr. Jefferson and I still have a relationship today. I just talked to him last week. He invited me out to an event. And yeah, like I said, I'm just so grateful for him. And Dr. Ellie, who was on my dissertation committee, and Dr. Amy Farrell, who was also on my committee. Just great, great people.
And those of you that are doctoral students or thinking about getting a doctoral degree, that is the type of relationship you want with your committee. You wanna feel supported, you want to be supported even after you graduate.
Absolutely.
So, look for that. Don't just take anyone to be your advisor. You need to do your research ahead of time and make sure that you're gonna be supported during the process and after the process. And every episode, I get on my soapbox, and so thank you for letting me get on that soapbox.
Of course, I'm up there with you. Listen, scoot
Thank you,
over.
thank you.
Scoot over.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Join me.
That's right.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Lions Educational Consulting. So you do equity audits and culturally responsible programming. What are some success stories that you can share with us?
Yeah, I think that I just my biggest success story is the cohort, the Black Educator Wellness cohort. And I say that because you know, when we first started this programming, we had 5 folks or 6 folks, and we had to beg people to trust us. We'll know what we're doing. And that first cohort, we had 7, 8 sessions, and then we had our retreat. And those folks really connected deeply and found community within each other. And then we had our second cohort. Instead of begging, we had 12 people. We only take 8 folks maximum. So we had 12 people, and then 8 people we were able to take on. And then this time we had 50 folks who applied and can only take 8 people. And that's a testament to the people in the cohorts talking to their community about the work. Because all we put out a little flyer here and there, and we say, cohort folks, tell your people the applications are open, right? And so to see like I said, this particular cohort was all women. Usually we ask women and non-binary people. It's open to Black women and non-binary folks. But to see the cohort, we just had our session for March last 2 weekends ago, to see them and the joy and to watch the transformation of so many folks just like kind of like burnt up and having burnout and experiencing trauma, which are not the same. And then coming through the cohort and seeing that light shine brighter, to see they found community, that you see people literally say, I didn't believe in Black wellness. I didn't believe in this, but I believe now. And you could tell that's the thing that I think is the most beautiful work that I do. And I co-facilitate, like I said, with my good friend, Dr. Ellie Cahill. That's the work that I think, and I would think that she would say the same thing. It's just to see that and to know that next year will be cohort 4 starting in September, that God willing and the funding stays, we're expanding our work to not only just work with our cohort of 8, but then to also work with their families,
Oh, love it.
support wellness in the family. And so that's what I'm loving right now. It's like, what does that look like to train others to do this work and expand it, right? And of course, people think, oh, it's for retention. It's for wellness first. It's for healing first. It's for community first. And then if folks choose to stay, that's fantastic. But that's the thing that I'm most proud of, is that work. Yeah.
That is fabulous. It's just I've watched it grow just in the small amount of time. I think I've been following you for maybe 6 months online. I can see a difference in growth and a question about the cohorts. Are you meeting in person or are they virtually?
Yeah. So all of our folks they're out in the Denver area. I mean, if people
Yeah.
want to drive in, that's up to them, but it's. So the cohorts that we have that are paid for by grants. So Ellie, Dr. Cahill has a nonprofit that we run this through. So we partner, yeah. And so the grants that we receive are for local. And so we'll meet one Saturday a month from 9 to 1:30.